Alright, hello guys, and here we are here with the new Epsilon. That's like the second and pretty much the counterpart to the hatsunemiku that we got this event. Now we have the new Epsilon, and let's dive straight in. Of course, they went all out with the design, which is pretty cool. Let's see how usable she is in reality, which is a bit ouch. Yeah, we have our ultimate euphoric concert. Based on that, inflicted crit rate grants the mid-ass fighting spirit and inflicts single hit damage on enemy. And yeah, so overall, it's a bit niche, like low crit rate. Like I guess it's still some good buffs, but then fighting spirit's not really a fixed damage. So I don't know. And it's a normal attack, which is honestly crazy because there's other characters that have it on like skill 1 and 2. But for some reason she does it on normal attack, which is honestly kind of crazy. They be really shafting Epsilons really. And then when you awaken it, you of course get 50% damage critted, 50% crit rate, which in which Epsilon really needs to crit rate. So that's good. Have a skill 1 popping step, and just raises speed and crit attack. And that's just about it. And when you awaken it, you get double the speed and double the crit attack. Well, I will say that the speed buff is pretty huge. So you don't have that help, you see. Think it's gonna be that great, to be honest. These small buffs. That's kind of the thing with these fighting spectators, that they barely buff themselves. So I guess they don't want to try and make anything too overpowered anymore. But then that just leaves it being underwhelming, to be honest. And then we have this song's next, typical 3-hit skill, and this one just raises down to see by 10%. Anyway, going to get 20% and some small damage boost. And that's just Sky River, which is pretty much the exact same as this passive right here is a nerf version of Apocrypha Elixir, where you get the attack buff and crit rate buff for a number of green elementals. And this one's also pretty low, since like you have your regular, which is A0 or so below A3, you get 5% attack and 6% crit rate, which is pretty ouch. It pretty much means that you only have a 30% chance of critting with full green element eyes, which is kind of ow, and then a small 25% attack buff as well. I mean, I guess it can still work, but yeah. And when you awaken, you get 10% crit rate and 8% attack, and which Epsilon really needs as much crit rate as possible. That's because we need a crit rate for her gear, which is pretty useless if you don't have 100% crit rate. So yeah, during the effect duration, for every 1% crit rate, exceeding 100% crit attack is raised by 1%. So if you don't have 100% crit rate, this gear is pretty much useless, since it's just supposed to take any crit over 100% and convert into crit attack. So Epsilon's crits do you more damage, and well, mostly just to try and hit the damage limit. And if like weakness hits, try to help those as well. But yeah, it's really just only her gear really only serves any purpose if she has 100% crit rate. Outside of that, the gear is pretty useless really. Because why you want the crit rate from this and from this, and as well as from hatsunemiku, her ultimate giving the crit rate as well. 30% and then 50% when awakened, and even from this Zelda unit, which I'll go into detail in another video. You want the Zeta side to get the crit rate as well, which is 50% to 100% hitting regular and awakened, and for to give her some crit rate as well, because this gear can give her some extra crit rate, which as you can see is crit rate of all green element eyes, to 50%, which is definitely very strong for Epsilon. As when so yeah, if you can activate that 50% with Epsilon's 6% that multiply that by 5 you get 30. That leaves Epsilon 8% crit rate, which just leaves for either her ultimate or one of the other ultimates I listed below to pop to have 100% crit rate. I will say though that they did kind of structure fighting spirit because on most normal units on skill 1 and 2, but for some reason this one is on normal attack, which is pretty weird. And this normal attack only does like 1 hit damage to them. So yeah, it's a pretty bland, boring unit. No buffs or allies, which sucks. Pretty much a self buffer and a walk just like the Apocrypha Rose and the other fighting spirit units. This one is also pretty much disappointing, really. Like, if you want a green DPS, well then, this Delta and Delta banner is here. That's way better to someone, really. But that will be for another video. As for this one, yeah. Epsilon herself also needs one of the crit based units that didn't get all the crit rate. But also have like the current event, which will give her a damage boost. You definitely don't really seem that good, especially like how the anniversary is super close. As you can see, there's 13 days left to the event, and with 1 week of armor, you can practically just see that we have like 3 weeks until the anniversary. So yeah, not really worth it outside of a waifu pool, but she is a cool unit for aesthetics and stuff. So yeah, that's about it for this video. See ya.